Hey guys, it's Jerlene from Sephora Hollywood and Highland, and take a look at this beautiful bright cut crease. If you want to see how to get it, keep on watching. Okay guys, as you can already see, I have my complexion done and my eyelids already primed. So first I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Neon Eyeshadow Palette, and I'm taking the yellow shade from this palette as my transition shade, and I find that this step balances out the rest of the colors I'll be using. So this is Sephora Collection brush number 19. I like to start in the center of my crease and then sweep back and forth. So I'm just going to keep blending until I get the intensity that I desire. So next I'm going to be using the pink shade out of the palette with my Sephora brush number 19. I am flicking it out with the brush in an outward motion to prepare my eyes for the shape of the cut crease. So I really love the way the pink and the yellow are blending together. It creates this beautiful peachy backdrop. So now I'm going in with this more neon purple shade to brighten up my crease, and same motion blending and dragging the shadow outward to prepare for the cut crease. And since my eyes are hooded, I like to blend the colors above my natural crease so that way when my eyes are closed, you still see the color. So the last color I'm putting in my crease, I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance eyeshadow palette, and I'm taking the shade Love Letter, and this is just going to build intensity and dimension into my crease. And for this step, I'm taking Sephora Collection brush number 86. This is great to help define the crease. So to blend out that shade, I'm taking Sephora Collection's brush number 38. This is another blending brush. It's just a little bit bigger and fluffier. So I switch brushes to soften the color that I just applied so we don't have any harsh lines. So since the shade Love Letter is so intense, I'm going to go ahead and take my number 19 brush to go ahead and buff that out. Okay, so repeating the same steps on the other eye, I'm taking my Sephora brush number 86 to define the crease. So going back in with my blending brush number 38, I'm going to go ahead and buff out that color, and then to finish it off with the number 19 brush, making sure to sweep the product outwards to prepare for your cut crease. All right, so now on to the main event. We're about to cut that crease. I'm going in using my Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Nude. And I like to use a concealer a few shades lighter than my complexion because it creates a clean canvas and it helps the bright colors pop. So using my Sephora Collection brush number 13, I'm going to go ahead and lather the brush into the concealer, making sure it's really packed in there because you want it to give you a smooth, clean cut. So having enough product on the brush is going to make sure you don't have any skips while cutting your crease. Since my eyes are hooded, I cut above my natural crease and on top of where my eyes start to hood to create balance to my eye shape. So for this cut crease, I am winging it all the way out. So I'm going to go ahead and extend it a little bit past the end of my eyebrows. So with this step, make sure you're very patient. Take your time. This is going to be setting up the base for the rest of the eye look. So I did have a little mess up. I used a cotton swab to clean up my crease. If you mess up a little bit, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and clean it up with a cotton swab. Okay, so once you have your desired wing set, you're going to go ahead and just fill in the rest of your eye and wing it out. Okay, so doing the same exact steps on the next eye, I have my number 13 Sephora brush, and again, I loaded it up with the concealer to make sure I have a very seamless cut crease. So here again, just working on the wing, perfecting the shape, and just filling the rest in. So once you have your desired cut crease, I'm going to go ahead and look straight ahead, check for balance. Since my eyes are hooded, I just want to make sure everything's symmetrical. Okay, so taking my Huda Beauty palette, I'm going in with that yellow shade, using my Sephora Collection number 14 brush. I'm going to be applying that color in the inner portion of my eye. And with this brush, I like to use patting motions to get as much color payoff as possible. Next, I'm taking the pink shade in the palette, using the same technique, patting motions to get the desired color payoff. So I'm packing the pink right next to the first color and slightly blending them together where the two colors meet. And doing the same thing on the other lid, using my brush number 14, just packing that pink color right next to the first shade. Okay, so now for the outer portion of my eyes and dragged into my wing, I'm going to be taking that neon purple shade, still using patting motions with my number 14 Sephora brush. So using the same patting motions until I get to the end of the wing, I start to sweep it out a bit so it's not as harsh. So doing the same to the other eye, patting that shadow in and dragging it out to your wing. Okay, so once you have everything blend out, feel free to go ahead and assess your eyes. If you need to add shadow to to any of the colors that lost their intensity, feel free to go back into the palette and add intensity where you need it. So now we're going in with that neon cool shimmery yellow shade. So using my Sephora collection number 14 brush, I'm going to go ahead and wet the brush and apply the color and packing motions just to intensify the shade. Next, I'm going to be taking that shimmery orange color and applying that right in the middle of my eyes, right next to the first shade, using patting motions using my 14 brush, pretty much doing the same steps as I was doing with the matte shades, but with the shimmers. So to finish off the shadows, I'm taking this pink shimmery shade and applying that to the outer portion of my eye and dragging it out to the wing. And with this shade, you just want to continue just using patting motions all the way through out to your wing. So whenever you have this much pigment, you're going to have a little bit of fallout. So I'm taking Sephora Collections brush number 59 and go ahead and sweep that away. So to clean up my wing, I'm going to be taking the same concealers that I use underneath my eyes, which are Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in shades Toffee and Mocha. And I like to use those shades that I use under my eyes because it doesn't disrupt my makeup. I'm using Sephora Collection brush number 45, which is great for cleaning up your wing because it has a flat tip and it's densely packed. So taking the pointed end of a damp beauty blender, I'm going to go ahead and blend out the concealer and going back in with my 45 brush until I have my perfect wing. So on the other side, doing the same thing, cleaning up my wing. Just make sure you're very patient and gentle with this step. So this is when you're really shaping and perfecting your wing. So again, with the pointed end of the damp beauty blender, go ahead and clean up the concealer. So at this step, you can go ahead and check for symmetry. So next, I'll be taking the Benefit Cosmetics Roller Liner Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Black. I'm going to go ahead and line my top lash line, and this just prepares my eye for the lashes. And since this is a step just for my lashes, I'm not going to wing out the liner, so I'm just going to stop at the end of my eye. So now I'm going in with the Marc Jacobs Beauty Highliner Matte Gel Eye Crayon Eyeliner in Pink of Me. I'm going to use that as a base for my waterline to prepare for the shadow that I'm going to put on top. I like to use a damp beauty blender when applying this liner because it doesn't disrupt your makeup. So going back into the Huda Beauty palette, I'm taking that beautiful tangerine color and adding that to my waterline. So using my Sephora Collection brush number 11, I'll be placing that tangerine orange color on top of the liner. So now to balance out my eyes, I'm going to be taking that yellow shade from the palette using my Sephora Collection brush number 11 and adding that to the inner corner of my eyes. Next, I'm going to be taking that pink shade right next to the yellow, right in the center of the bottom of my eyes. And by doing this step, you just create balance to the shadows on top of your eyes. So the last shade on the bottom of my eyes, I'm taking that neon purple color. And as you can tell, I'm kind of winging it out so it can match the top of my wing. You guys, I am obsessed with this bright look. It's getting me so excited for the summer. So once again, I'm going in the palette using my Sephora Collection brush number 86. And I'm taking that yellow shade just to buff out all the colors at the bottom of my eyes. So once again, I'm grabbing my Sephora Collection brush number 59 and sweeping away any fallout. So now I'm using one of my favorite mascaras, which is Smashbox Superfan Mascara for my bottom lashes. It really lengthens and separates my lashes. So if you're like me, no makeup look is complete without lashes, and I'm using one of my faves, which are Lily Lashes 3D Mink in style Miami. And before applying these lashes, I did measure them to my eyes and make sure that they fit perfectly. I did have to cut off a little bit at the end, so make sure you pre-measure yours before applying. So to apply my lashes, I love to use tweezers, and a great tip is to let your glue dry on the lash band for about 30 seconds to a minute and look down into a mirror while you're applying them. So once you have them on, you can go ahead and use your fingers and adjust them. So I love this style of lash Miami because they're really fun, fluffy, and I feel like they look great on all eye shapes. So this is the look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys are rocking for the summer. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.